guys, it's Treasure and welcome back to my chest. I am so tan. Like, people told me that I was tan, but now that I'm filming, I'm just like, I can tell while I'm filming that I'm so fucking tan. So it was hot over here. I spent like 3 days in the sun using my mom's pool, and let's just say we can tell that I tanned. I kind of like it. Like, my skin is glowing. Anyways, we're getting off track. So today I wanted to talk about something that I have found pretty much embarrassing for a big part of my life. But as I was healing and doing the work, as I repeat very often, I realized things about my life that at the time I saw as an embarrassment, or I saw as a fuck up, and that now today, looking back on it, I'm like, oh wow, I just didn't have the tools to deal with that, or I had bigger issues at the time and wasn't aware, and now I am aware of the issues, and just things end up not looking as bad as they were looking bad to me before. I don't know if this makes any sense, but we're just gonna get into it straight. I got kicked out of college twice. And for the longest time, I thought this was really embarrassing. It's like I didn't only get kicked out once. I got kicked out twice. And obviously the second time I just stopped going to school. So like by default I got kicked out because I just wasn't showing up anymore. So it's not as bad, but still I'm pretty sure it's like in my fucking files. If I decide that I want to go back to college, I don't even think I can. I don't know how the rules work, but whatever. So yeah, I wanted to talk about that because I'm pretty sure that I'm not the only one that has had a situation like this. And I've talked about this in other videos as well. There is 99% chance that I have ADHD. I'm not diagnosed yet, but I am on the wait list, and I've been on this wait list for like 2 years. And anyways, my brother just got diagnosed and he's on the spectrum. And all the friends that I have that have ADHD are just like, you for sure have ADHD. And when I started thinking about the ADHD and thinking about things in my past, that's when like I connected the dots and I realized that some stuff I fumbled in the past because of my ADHD. So now that I'm kind of having all these realizations, I wanted to talk about it because I have said it before that I wanted to be honest and real and vulnerable on this channel. And I think that this being vulnerable is talking about things that I'm embarrassed, or talking about things that happened in my life that I wasn't really proud of myself for, because I just, want you guys to know that I don't have my shit together, when I don't think I have ever had my shit properly together. But yeah, we're just gonna get into it. So when I was young, okay, initially when I was really, really young, I was a bit delusional and I wanted to be a pop star, okay, because I was a singer. I wanted to do the whole theater thing. I didn't really have a theater background because where I grew up, it wasn't really there wasn't really like theater schools or stuff like that. And like the theater kids was mostly just theater. It wasn't like theater with like musicals. So I did do some musicals, but like not that often, and most of the time it wasn't really in a theater class or anything. So whatever, I wanted to be a pop star. But then I grew up and I ended up watching That's So Raven, and That's So Raven is like part of my lore. This is very important to me when I grew up, because first of all, there weren't that many like girls who I looked up to that looked like me, because I grew up around white people, okay? Like my mom is white, my dad is black, but I got raised by my mom. So where I lived was in the city where it was mostly white people. So I went to school and there was like, I could count the black people in my school on one hand, okay? So Raven was like the girl who I looked up to, and I was just like, okay, she's thick like me and she's black she looks, I don't know her origins, if she's light skinned or if she's dark. I didn't fucking check that out. But anyway, she looked like me. And every time I went to fucking primary school, elementary, people were just like, oh my God, you look like That's So Raven. And just the attitude that I have, people were just like, oh, you look like That's So Raven. Now that I'm thinking about it, I don't know if it's just because like white people did not have anyone else to compare me to, so that's why they compare me to her, or if they actually saw a resemblance. I'm not fucking sure. But anyway, she was kind of like my little idol, and I saw her doing the whole fashion thing in the show, and I really liked her style. Like, some of the things that I like are really inspired by the style that she used to wear in the show. And eventually I kind of developed this passion for fashion, as the brats would say. And I really looked up to her, and I was just like, I want to be a fashion designer. Like, I want to be able to be like Raven and make those clothes myself. And so that when that happened, I was just like, I want to be a fucking fashion designer. And that was my dream. I was just like, I'm going to be a famous fashion designer. I'm going to be this, I'm going to be that. I was really into that fashion designer thing. So, you know, when I was in school, I would draw in these little books with like these figures. I have one that I bought on Amazon. I could show you guys, but I'm just like, I don't know where it is. I'm not getting up. I would draw clothes when I was in school and everything. And I got really into the whole fashion design thing. So when it was time for college, I went to the only college that offered fashion design, as like the one that was affordable, because there was, where I live, there's only 2 schools that offer fashion design, which is the one that is free. It's not free, it's public school. The one that's public school, and the other one is private. And the private one was crazy expensive, and for no reason, because funny enough, I went to the public one, and the second year that I was there, a bunch of people from the private one were coming to our public schools and be like, it's not worth paying at the private because like the teachers don't give a shit. And anyways, it's not a good program, but whatever, I'm getting off topic. So yeah, wanted to go into fashion design. So I signed up for fashion design, going to college in fashion design. I started really excited because I was just like, I've wanted to do fashion ever since I've like kind of found out about this job. And now I'm finally like around people that want to do the same thing as me. I am learning how to actually do it. Like, I had a class for how to make patterns. I had a class for how to sew. I had a class where we go to the computer and we like make our designs on the like a computer program. I had drawing classes. I was so fucking excited. And there was a whole fashion department. So like all the fashion students would like chill in the same department. Like, you would see like older projects from people, like pictures from the collections that they have. And like, I was so excited. I was so fucking excited about college. There's only one thing that pissed me off about college is, I live in Canada, precisely Quebec, like not the state, the fucking province of Quebec. And the way school works is like, you do a primary school, which is elementary school if you guys are in the US. Then you go to high school, which is secondary school. There's no middle school over here. And after secondary school, you go to college, which is cégep. And if you need to go to university, then you go to university after cégep, because certain programs in cégep, like if you do the program in the cégep, you're fine. After that, you don't need to go to university. As for other programs, you can go to university after. So the fashion program was 3 years in cégep, and usually when you're done after that, you can go like on the job market and start doing your shit. And the first session, okay, the first trimester. If I say words that you guys do not understand, I'm so sorry, but like some like things that we say here in Canada is not the same as the way y'all say in the US, and I feel like a lot of people are in the US, so you know, whatever. So yeah, the first trimester, I'm just gonna assume that's what it is. I was very excited, and I was going to my classes and I was doing my shit, and I was kind of like on the high of finally studying something that I loved. So I was really into it. But as the comfort set in, I got a little bit too comfortable, and I started realizing that, hey, no one is telling me what to do. Because when you're in high school, you have to do your homework. You have to do this, you have to do that. And if you don't do it, the teachers are going to sanction you, or put you in trouble or call your parents. Like it's kind of impossible for you to do crazy shit in high school because teachers are just gonna clock it real quick, you know? Like you can't really skip class in high school without the teachers literally telling your parents. I don't know how it is for you guys, but like where I went, like if you skip class, they're gonna know and they're gonna tell your parents. Come, you have like no good reason to not be in class. When you get to college, they don't give a fuck. They really do not give two fucks. If you don't show up to class, that's not their problem. The teachers, they show up, they do their class, and if you're not there, they don't give a flying fuck because it's none of their business. Because they're in their mind, they're just like, if you're paying for school and you're not showing up, like, how is that my issue? So I started getting way too comfortable, and there's classes that I didn't like that I just would stop showing up to, or I just wouldn't do my homework. So my grades would go down, and I got to a point where my grades were so shit that I just stopped showing up. So let's say there was a class it was philosophy that I had to do. That's the thing that I hated about fucking Cégep. Like I couldn't just go to school and do only my fashion classes. I had PE I had to do, philosophy, French, well, literature, and then an extra class that you have to do. Like you can't just do your program classes. So these ones, I kind of lost my motivation for those ones because I wasn't like as excited as my fashion classes. So like I said, I stopped showing up. I would go to computer classes and just chill on the computer instead of literally going to my classes. So philosophy, I failed. Then literature, I was good at literature. That's the worst. I would fail as well. Like I was just failing a bunch of shit just because I was just like, these classes suck. And why do I have to go? But you kind of need them for your fucking diploma. So it was just a whole ass mess. I wasn't really doing like my project as I should, and I kind of like, at first I didn't really see it as a big deal, but then as time went, this kind of happened with my fashion classes as well. Like I started kind of, how could I say, kind of losing my spark, but not because of the program itself. I think maybe because it was too much pressure, because they do say that like the fashion program is a very hard program. And I even had like my pattern teacher, she was just like, you guys are going to see that at the end of the program, like at least 70% of the people in this class are not going to be here. Like everyone kind of just drops, or they just like lose interest. They realize that's not what they want to do. But when I was there, I knew that's what I wanted to do. But the way that they kind of try to teach you fashion design in that school is like, they kind of teach you as if you're going to be a designer. Well, not even a designer, like a fucking seamstress behind a company. And I was just like, no, like what I want to do with my life is be a fashion designer and have my own brand. But I feel like the way that they kind of teach you school, they kind of teach you in a way that they're just like, hey, you're going to be a seamstress for this boring ass fucking brand. And I was just like, I don't really like that. So already that did not fucking go well with me, but whatever. I was still sort of going to class, but like my projects, I would do them last minute. So I end up like showing projects that were half done. I had a really hard time like managing my time. I had a hard time like doing my homework. It was just the same way that I was in high school, just without the structure. So it was just getting worse, because in high school I was the type to not do my homework or do them last minute, but then eventually I would get detention. So then I would eventually like be careful about it, because it's like I don't want to go to detention, right? But in college they don't care. They really do not give a fuck. If you don't do your homework, you are the one that's penalized. If you don't show up to class, you are the one that's penalized. They don't care. They're not going to tell you to go to detention. They don't give a flying fuck. They're not going to tell you to go to see the principal. They don't give a flying fuck, because it's none of their business if you don't want to show up. And I feel that having this much liberty really fucked me over, because I was just like, I don't need to be here. Oh, this class was boring last time. Why should I go? And the thing that was annoying also with the fashion program is like, the pattern class and the sewing class did not give you a project that you could do in both classes. So let's say they say, design a dress and make it. They didn't give you a project to make a dress and then in your pattern class, you did the pattern, and in your sewing class, you did the sewing. No, sewing class decided, hey, this is the dress for the end of the year that you have to do. And then pattern class was like, hey, you have to make a shirt in this class. And then the other class was like, hey, you have to make a pant. So you were just like accumulating all these projects in different classes. And here I was already not really good with my time, good with what I had to do. So I would just like accumulate the pressure and the stress and the anxiety. And instead of just like doing my stuff, I would just end up like freezing and not doing anything. And what was kind of sad is that like at the time, I didn't know that I had ADHD. I didn't know that that was the issue and that was the reason why going to college was so hard for me. So, and let's say like I finished high school like 10 years ago, okay? So 10 years ago, I was still in a mindset like that I hated myself. I hated myself so bad back then. So when I realized how horrible, how much I sucked in school, I really blamed myself. I was just like, oh my God, I suck. What's wrong with me? Like, I'm horrible. Like, I can't handle it and everything. And never in my fucking head was I like, maybe I have a learning disability, or maybe I have something that makes it harder for me to go to school. No, I never thought that. And then I was seeing other people in my class. They were doing their shit. They were on top of their shit. And I was just like, why is it that people can focus and they can do their shits, but I can't? Like, I swear, I would go to the computer class with my friends sometimes. They would work and do their projects, and I was on the computer doing other things. I was just like, I remember there's a class, well, it wasn't class, like you could stay like in the classes after school to work on your projects. And I had like 2-3 friends that were just all working on their projects, and I was here watching Saw on the computer. Like, I could not focus. And it ruined like everything in my head, because I started like kind of asking myself if this is really what I want to do with my life. I was just like, do I really want to be a fashion designer? Like, if I can't focus, I can't do the work when I've been wanting to be in this program for so long. Clearly, maybe I don't like it as much as I think I do. And I started kind of questioning myself and kind of freaking out and being like, wait, I've been wanting to do this my whole life, and now I have the resources. I'm getting taught how to do it, and I can't fucking focus, and I can't bring myself to do it. And I swear it's like I had like it's not a midlife crisis, but you know, like a college crisis, where I was just like, is this really what I want to do with my life? And I pushed and I kept pushing and staying in the classes and being like, it's gonna get better, it's gonna get better. I did the first year, and some of my grades were not great, but you know, I ended up, you know, passing. There are certain classes that I had to retake, but you know, I made it to the second year. And then the second year, it just, I guess it got worse to a point where they had put me on a program. So basically, I passed the year before, but I passed like, you know, at the bare minimum. So they were just like, hey, if you don't do this class and this class, and you don't get this grade and this grade, there's a chance we might kick you out. And what happened was I didn't follow the contract that they gave me, so I got kicked out by the second year, which like the first trimester, I got kicked out at the end of that trimester. And semester, why am I saying trimester? It's semester. What, my brain is just... But yeah, I got kicked out. And let's say that getting kicked out of college from a program that I wanted to do for years, I kind of couldn't believe it. It's like I knew the risk that I could get kicked out, but once I got kicked out, I was just like, holy shit. I've been waiting my whole life for this, and now I just got kicked out. And like the way that CEGEP works, if I'm not mistaken, when you get kicked out, you're not allowed to reapply for like at least 2 or 3 years. Like, you're not allowed to come back, and it stays in your file. So if you try to fucking go to another school, it's in your file. Like, they can say no to you. Like, I tried to apply at another school in another program. They said no. So yeah. And at the time I was just like, oh my God. And I was really, really fucking scared to tell my family. And let me tell you, when I told my family, my hatred for myself got really worse because I felt worthless. I felt like a failure. And my family made me really understand how disappointed they were with me. Like, my stepfather went bonkers and he didn't talk to me for like 6 months. And my mom was super fucking disappointed. My grandparents too, they were fucking disappointed. Like, they were pissed off. Like, I don't think I have ever seen my family this pissed off at me than when I got kicked out of college. And I felt really fucking horrible. And I have to admit that, like, when that happened, it was really like a low place in my life, because I ended up moving to my grandparents' house. My grandparents were just like, yo, if you're staying here, you need a fucking job. There's no way in hell we're letting you milk off of us after you literally got kicked out of school. So that's what I did. I got a job and I was just surviving, living on my grandparents' house, trying to work, get coins. And I was kind of like having an existential crisis and just being like, what the fuck am I gonna do with my life? And I was so confused and I felt like fucking shit. And I was like, now that I'm thinking of it, initially when I started this video, I didn't think I was going to talk about that. But now that I am like kind of talking about the facts, I'm realizing how close to that time in my life it was. So yeah. So like I said, I used to work at a job trying to pay I didn't have any bills. I had my phone bill to fucking pay. So I was just not doing shit. And I did try to put money into YouTube, but you know, my consistency was kind of shit. So back then, even then, I did videos, but I wasn't really that consistent with my videos. But yeah, a few months after this would happen, I tried to kill myself. I felt so much like a fucking failure and so fucking lost in my life that I literally tried to end my life. And I was hospitalized for 2-3 days, if I'm not mistaken. Like, this is fucking YouTube. I'm pretty sure that just this fact that I said kill, like, they're gonna fucking not be down. But anyways, yeah. So I tried to off myself, and it was a very dark time in my life. And again, I just felt like the biggest failure, because people and society make you feel that like the main priority in your life should be school, should always be an education. It should always be the first priority. And because I fucked that up, I was just like, then what am I good for? What am I actually good for? What am I going to do with my life if the thing that I want to do the most, I already fucked it up and I'm just getting started and everything's already ruined. Everyone already sees me as a failure. I already hate myself. I can't go back to school. I fucking went crazy and I just tried to kill myself, and I survived. And I saw people in my family crying and being upset over what I did. And it opened my eyes and I was just like, why? You know, it was a dark time. It was a fucking dark time. And I was blaming myself so much for everything. And fast forward to today, now that I know that I suspect that I have ADHD and that I have made a lot of research on ADHD to see what the symptoms are, how ADHD works and everything, then I realized, I'm like, oh, had I known that I had ADHD before starting college, I might have been fine, because I would have known. So I would have had, like, you know, ways to deal with my ADHD, ways to study and do my things in a different way that a neurotypical person does. I was always kind of wondering why I couldn't function like normal people without knowing that I had issues that made it that I wasn't functioning like a normal person. And it's only 10 years down the road that now I'm noticing, and it's making me realize that I wasn't a fucking failure. I just didn't have the tools to deal with what I needed to deal with at the time. And I put it all on myself, and I like put that as hatred towards myself when it shouldn't have been. I just didn't know. And I don't know. I don't know where I'm trying to go with this video. I wanted to kind of share this and maybe let you guys know that, like, if you've had like a situation that's similar to me, you're not a fucking failure, okay? Like, we're all different. Everyone works in a different way, and you just have to find the ways that work for you. And obviously, when I was at school at the time, I did not find the ways that worked for me. And even the second time that I tried college, years down the line, I think it was 5 years after that, I still got kicked out because I still had that same issues, and I was still wondering what the fuck was wrong with me at the time. And now I know what the fuck is wrong with me. I am neurodivergent. I don't work the same way as everyone else in the school, and it fucking sucks that it had to go this way, but it's not too late. It is not too late. Because you know what? I decided that I was going to go back to school in my own bedroom. So this is also the reason that I wanted to talk about this. So I made a video about how I realized that I was kind of like limiting myself on my YouTube channel and not posting as much content as I thought that I was going to be posting. And I decided that I wanted to live my life more. So I'm doing the things that I love and like doing more hobbies and, you know, thinking about the things that I actually want to do with my life. And despite the fact that, yeah, I do want to do YouTube, there are other things that I want to do. I still want to be a fashion designer. I've always wanted to be a fashion designer, and I convinced myself that I didn't want to be one because I thought I wasn't worthy of being one. Because I thought I sucked. Because I thought that because I didn't have school, it was never going to work for me. And I convinced myself that all the dreams that I had back then were just bullshit. I was just like, I don't have the this and the this and the that to become a YouTuber. I don't have this and this and that to become a fashion designer. I just brought myself down so bad that I gave up on all my dreams. And now I'm just like, I don't give a flying fucking shit. It doesn't matter how old I am. It doesn't matter that I don't have a school background. Nowadays, we can learn everything on the internet. Okay? And that's what I decided to do. So this week, what I decided to start was school at home. I asked ChatGPT to help me create a program. I'm not doing everything on ChatGPT, okay? But like to create the actual program, like ChatGPT gave me the classes that maybe I should do and the things that I should learn. And it's been 2 days so far, and I'm kind of really having fun. I'm having fun, and I'm like teaching myself things that I was taught years ago that I don't remember. And I'm having so much excitement to do things that I used to love and finding that love for fashion that I had literally pushed it aside thinking that I wasn't worthy of, because it's always been there. I've always been wanting to be part of the fashion. And yeah, so I feel like I'm a bit all over the place. But yeah, so I decided that I was going to document me learning fashion by myself, because this channel is literally supposed to be me documenting my rise to success and me, like, you know, doing the thing. So I do think that it's very relevant for me to show you guys my process of trying to learn things on my own again. So the reason this is not the video talking about it is because I want to see if I actually follow through for a whole week. And at the end of the week, I'm going to be making a video about, you know, how I'm learning and how I'm making up my classes and my schedule and how I felt about it and everything. And I'll probably be posting that on either Friday or Saturday. But yeah, so far I'm having fun, and it is so fun to just do it at home and do the program myself because I don't have teachers bothering me. I can do what I want. Like the way that I put my schedule, I can move my classes. Like if it's time for a class of fashion drawing, let's say, if I'm not in the mood, I'm just gonna fucking switch it with another class. I can do whatever the fuck I want. And it's making it so fun for me. And then I'm just like, see, now that I know that I have ADHD, then I can use the tools to make sure that the things that I'm learning and the way that everything is working, I can actually learn and actually focus on the shit and do the things that I love and not feel like a piece of shit or failure. So yeah. I'm just gonna stop. Yeah, that's about it. So I wanted to share my little past with getting kicked out of school and how much it warped my, you know, my self-worth and how I felt about myself and how I felt about my future. And just to remind you that it's never fucking too late. Now I'm 28 years old, getting back into fashion, alone in my bedroom, but I am already so fucking excited. Like, I didn't think that I was gonna love it so much already, because I was so convinced that that's not what I wanted to do anymore. But like, I watched the McQueen documentary earlier, and like, I was getting chills watching that, and I was getting chills imagining myself like walking out on the runway after my fucking shows. And it's just that I just know that I want to do this, and I'm kind of sick of living my life in a way that I am living for other people and not doing the things that I've always wanted to do and not giving a shit about anything else. I love YouTube. I will make YouTube videos. I love fashion. I will keep learning fashion so I can start making my clothes and doing all the things that I said that I've been wanting to do for years. I love singing and fucking writing songs. Then I'm gonna learn how to write songs and keep fucking singing my heart out. I fucking bought writing books the other day, so I could write songs and learn how to write songs. Like, I'm really kind of in this energy right now where I'm like, fuck other people, focus on your life and what you want and what you love and what you want to do. And fuck society. Fuck society. You don't need to go to fucking a school to be good at what you do. You don't need the money to be, this is free. Everything that I'm doing with my fashion right now is free. It's information that I found on the internet. The only thing that I have spent money on so far is notebooks. Notebooks, or the books where you draw in and everything. That's it. So maybe 30, 40 bucks so far. And I'm learning. There's so much fucking info on YouTube, on Wikipedia and everything. And I'm excited. I'm excited to keep going, and I'm actually excited to make the videos for you guys, because I want to have this vlog of my progress and see and show you how much that I am learning with just the internet, and how like better I'm getting with time as I'm doing it. So yeah, that's what I wanted to talk about today. Oh my god, we're at 30 minutes. Yeah, I'm starting to be really fucking hot, so it is kind of distracting me. But yeah, if you've watched this whole video, thank you for watching. I really, really appreciate it. And as I said, I will be making a video at the end of the week to show you guys my progress, show you guys my program that I made for myself. So if ever you have like a situation like me and you've thought about going back to school, but it's always been an issue with like money or time, or maybe you're neurodivergent and you don't know how to navigate school, if my program kind of works for me, then I'll give you guys like my little tips and tricks and what I've been doing to help myself out. And you'll see if you want to try it out. And like, it would be so fun if like I have more people coming on board, like not necessarily like, you know, doing fashion, but like if you guys want to start doing like school at home and have your little programs, and then we could talk every week and give us like little updates and be like, what have you learned this week? Like, where are you getting and everything? And I'm like, okay, but I'm getting like way too carried away. So yeah, that's it. That's all I wanted to say this week. So yeah, have a great week, and I'll see you next week. Next week, but this week as well for the other video, okay? Promise, okay? Bye.